Hey everybody, it is Addison and welcome to your Saturday Addison Unleashed. I was just out here at a coffee shop doing some work and figured I would jump on. We are having an amazingly gorgeous day in Texas, and so I'm just catching some sun. It has been so cold and rainy that I have not gotten a lot of nature time in. So I'm doing some work here, and then I'm gonna go just sit at the park for a little while, get a little bit of grounding, and just really enjoy this beautiful weather we're having. But the weather is not the topic of today. So last night I was out and I'm using my headphone thing. So if you can hear me, give me a thumbs up because I want to make sure that everybody is able to hear me. Okay, great, awesome. But I was out just with some friends and we were talking, and towards the end of the night I was sharing with them that I had gone on a date with somebody and we were having a conversation, and I actually wrote an article on this conversation. It was the one that I wrote, The Kink of Wedding Rings, and my friends were like, well, how did you even get on that topic, Addison? Like, that is not a first, second, third, even fourth date topic. That's not just a topic that you really just fall into. That's like the rules. Like, you don't talk about wedding rings. You don't talk about this. You don't talk about that. And I really got thinking, and maybe maybe I scare guys. I don't know. But I do know that I don't have rules when it comes to what I talk about on a date. Now, I think there are things that aren't the best to talk about, but I believe that in our current dating world, we have all these like rules, and they're stupid bullshit. They really are. They're stupid bullshit rules that I often think actually keep us from being authentic with the people that we're having a conversation with. Now, so I went on a date with another gentleman the other day, and he has kids. And so am I going to inquire to the point of wanting to know all the little details of every kid and really get in there? No, but because it was a first date, and I don't need to know his entire life story in one date. However, that is important for me to know that he has children, and it is important for me to inquire their ages. It is important for us to get these pieces, because so I'll go back to kind of the wedding ring conversation. If I had waited, let's say 6 months into a relationship to have that conversation, then I would be missing important elements to make decisions moving forward on the relationship. I think a lot of times we stay in this inauthentic place in our dating world, and I don't want it to sound like I think it is appropriate for people to kind of overshare on a date, but I think there is a level of kind of going with the flow and enjoying the conversation and letting the conversation lead where it does. Now, that's not saying, you need to jump into, every hurt, habit, hang up that you've ever had. That's not appropriate. You need to be getting to know somebody at the level that you can trust them. Brene Brown, who is a shame and guilt researcher, she's very, very well known. If you have not heard of Brene Brown, you need to go check out her YouTube, TED Talk. They're amazing. But she's always talking about, trusting people kind of at the level you can trust them, in that, like, we don't kind of jump into the deep end with somebody that we haven't built that trust there. That is actually not being vulnerable. That is actually holding vulnerability away from you, because you are throwing everything out at somebody in order to almost chase them away. That is not what we're wanting to do on a first date. We're wanting to definitely keep some mystery, keep some intrigue. Though there is an element of, why are we going to have these taboo topics that we don't talk about just because they're we are only on date 3 and that is a date 4 conversation. That's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Now I work with people on sexuality, and so a lot of times on my first dates, people like will be talking, they're like, oh, what do you do? And I tell them and they're like, wow. And yes, we do get into conversation on a surface level about sex because that is part of my job, that is part of my passion, that is part of what I love about my life is my business, and my business includes that element on top of so much else. And if I wasn't to share that, then I would not be being authentic. If I did not lean in and show people that I'm on dates with, or even my friends or my family, or it's not always just talking about dating here. We're talking about just being really authentic and relating in general, honestly. But I think we make these stupid rules in dating particularly. Like you can go into Cosmo and they'll have like the step-by-step guide of like what you should and should not talk about. But if I was to hold that passion, hold that enjoyment for my business, for all these different topics, for just different aspects of my life, if I didn't allow any vulnerability in these elements when dating, they wouldn't get to know me. They wouldn't get to see me shine. And that would be very, very sad because they would be missing out on me. We tend to whitewash ourselves in dating, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. I do believe that I wouldn't purposely jump into topics of like exes, or I wouldn't purposely jump into topics of like sex. I wouldn't go, oh, if I was giving advice to a client, I wouldn't say like, yeah, it's a great idea that you talk about your mental health issues on your first date or second date or third date. I wouldn't probably say like, yeah, go and talk about your ex-wife a ton. No, that's not probably healthy. However, I also don't believe in fully hiding either. I don't believe that you should be hiding with somebody that you're dating. I do think that you should be authentic on kind of where you are. Now, do you need to rip your soul open? No, I think, again, that's not appropriate. But to kind of let go of some of the dating rules when we're dating, because they were created for nobody. And for example, I could have stopped the conversation on the wedding rings. I easily could have stopped that conversation, but I was like, actually, I'm intrigued here because this is going to give me a lot of information. This is going to give me a whole lot of information about this person's outlook on relationship. And I need to know that. I need to know their outlook on relationship. Not saying that one conversation is going to make me go, I'm never going to talk to them again, but it is information, and that is what we're doing when we're dating somebody or getting to know a new friend even, or whatever relationship we're dealing with. We are trying to get information and go, okay, like how do you approach life? Tell me, you were wanting to get more depth of somebody than, hi, my favorite color is green, and my favorite activity outside of work is dancing. Like that's stupid. It's stupid. You don't know anything about somebody by those little elements, and it's not interesting and it's not intriguing. So drop all that to say, drop some of the dating rules, drop some of the stupid little dating rules. Now, don't overshare. Like don't jump in the deep end, because you can scare people away. I have been on dates with gentlemen that have spent the entire date talking about their ex-wife or ex-partner, and that's not sexy. That's not connective. However, follow the flow of the conversation, feel into the energy, be present, and that's where it comes down to, is really just being present in the moment and going, okay, I think that this conversation can handle this right now, or I actually don't think that this conversation can handle this at this time. I don't think this is the right time to share this. So those are my suggestions for you guys, since it is Saturday and I know lots of people who are single are going out on dates. And go and drop some of those rules. Go drop some of the rules, even if you're not dating, even if you're in friendship. I think we create a lot of rules around how we connect, how we love, how we're just full of rules. And so drop some of those rules and just get connected and be present with who you are in the relationship with. So that is my message for today. I hope that everybody gets something out of that and takes just a little piece, little nugget for themselves. But I also wanted to just let you all know that if you're interested in coaching, I just released my new subscription coaching program, so you can go and check that out on my website. It is in the header, Addison Your Way. And so we will do coaching whatever way, or not whatever way, but we will focus in on whatever you need and kind of create the life that you desire. In this coaching program, you get 3 sessions and a whole bunch of other stuff. So go check that out. It is on my page, addisonbell.net. Other than that, I hope you guys have a great, beautiful Saturday. And I will see you guys on Monday for another Addison Unleashed. Sending you all love, light, and blessings. Bye, everybody.